God, whenever you hear the name God, you immediately have an idea of worship and churches and places of worship. God, the creator of it all, needs and demands worship, because or else his power will come upon you. That is what I always heard. Of course, when you hear the name God, you immediately have, wow, it's God, or the God, one God, the perfect God. Well, actually, when I hear dragon God, well, most of the people will think of something that doesn't exist, but they exist very much. The dragon gods, I didn't even need a description of them. I didn't even need to read about them. I'm fair to say, I experienced them. First of all, the first dragon god that I experienced was Tiamat, and Tiamat shaped my entire path. Everything on my path is because of her. Her energy is completely surrounding me. And eventually, later on, I came to discover the second dragon god, Leviathan. Leviathan, Tiamat's energy was so light and so motherly, so beautiful, like an angel arriving. And everyone, what I read about Tiamat is negative. It's dark and it's chaos. Of course, she is chaos, but chaos is another word for freedom. She offers freedom to her children. That is what I can make out of it. Leviathan, on the other hand, is the father of the dragon, and he's a father of, you can say, the void. And I had a lot of experiences with the dragon gods. One of them, I had my mother, my human mother, you can say. She in the beginning of my life, she was very good, but after a while she stopped caring about me or about my sister. She stopped caring about anything. It was only her life and her life alone. She left my dad, and she was just thinking about herself. I was dead for her. I was dead. My sister was dead for her, and I was broken apart from this. Really, like a part of myself died whenever I came to realize that she left us. I was really so emotional, so broken, and this was just at the moment that I came to meet Leviathan, my second dragon god. And of course, I didn't know what to expect from Leviathan. I knew that he was very dark, but I was not really afraid, even though Leviathan made me question my own faith. What am I actually following? But Leviathan is in fact a dragon that is very strict, a serpent. And I seen him in many ways, but he was in fact the dragon that you simply cannot fool. Or he's a dragon god, he's a creator, but also a destroyer. He also, just like Tiamat, seemed to care a lot for his children. He has all the respect for his children, and he is in fact the one that is standing before the dragon's gate, the guardian of it. But when he is in flesh and blood here on earth, he comes in the form of a sea serpent. And he also was the fear of humans. He's even in the Bible, he is described as the dark half of God. He was in fact God, Leviathan, of course. And I came to discover him, Leviathan, eventually. Once in these times that I was just meeting him, not that far inside of my dragon's path. And of course, like I said, I didn't know what to expect from him. But he was completely different than Tiamat. Every dragon god is completely different. What we can expect from them, nothing. We cannot expect anything from them, from any dragon gods. In fact, what the plan is for the dragon god for you is completely different than someone else. So yeah, Leviathan. What was his plan for me, I don't know. But I was, like I said, I was devastated. And once you have so much emotions, and I came to understand this from the dragon reads your emotions, everything. And the dragon gods, especially the dragon gods, they read your emotions. They even talk to your emotions. They can talk to you through emotions. And my emotions was like I was sitting on my knees in front of my dragon altar. And I was so angry with her. Angry, sad at the same time. I even let a tear. I decided to create a ceremony a ceremony of her loss, that I lost her, that she's dead, that she now eventually is dead for me. So I actually did a ceremony of goodbye for my dragon, in front of my dragon altar. Little did I know, and I didn't expect this, that was actually a ritual that I did. I did a ritual out of pure emotions. Of course, I need to learn about this all. I needed to learn about it. There's no one by my side said what I have to do, or that you can control your emotions. I didn't. I couldn't. And eventually, what I came to understand from it, Tiamat and Leviathan, both of them, they understood this. They eventually could translate my emotions, and they did something. They did something that I didn't expect. They brought my mother back eventually. My mother, had a year, a very dark year, and she had visions. She had a lot of visions that she even had to go to the psychology. I mean, yeah, that she had to go to the hospital. And so, but she was actually losing her mind because she was always seeing images, and she described it right now that she could see people in this hospital, people like very famous people. That is impossible, of course, that she could see it with her awakening eyes. All of these people were actually dead. People were dead, that they were always, they were looking at her, like all looking at her as she arrived into this great place to eat and things like this. And that she stepped inside of the elevator. There was a man inside of the elevator. She was with my aunt, so she saw it as well. When the elevator opened, he was gone. He was only saying to her, "And how is it going?" And then she had so much visions, and she described it. She described the sea serpent. She described Leviathan. She described the wolves inside of the void. She described the void. She described everything. She described the dragon serpent. She described Leviathan. Oh my goodness. And I was so shocked. That was just at the moment that I did my ritual. I was shocked that she could describe Leviathan, how he appears before me. And she was actually living in hell, inside of a hellish dimension, that she was always descending after, next to his serpent-like image that he has. She was always descending, and there were wolves that were biting her spirit all the time. It was not painful for her, but it was not good at all. She was had a trauma because of this to this day. And they always say it's a dream. Well, I actually know better. This was a collaboration between Tiamat and Leviathan. Why also Tiamat? Because Tiamat, she was more of a mother than my real mother. She, the dragon goddess, is what I always felt as a mother of, my spirit, you can say. The first time that I saw Tiamat, she wrapped. That is also something so strange, but also beautiful. That she had these enormous wings, and they were wrapping herself around me. That was so beautiful. But Leviathan, that was something different. Leviathan's goal is to call you welcome inside of the dragon realm. But in order to do so, you need to focus, and that is what Leviathan is, a strict teacher. Before you enter the dragon's path, make sure you know and to expect everything, because Leviathan is the great teacher of darkness, to let you see the light, to open the light. So he's not evil or things like this. He's not bad. He's just the same as Tiamat, but his approach is different, very different. A different approach, a different way of teaching us the dragon's path. And of course, when my mother came out of it, she had all of these tales and these stories that they showed her, the worst images inside of that hospital. That is, of course, almost impossible for the stories that she said. That she was with one foot inside of the void, and that she had. And I said, "How did you escape from the void?" She said, "Because of my mother, my grandmother, so it be." An enormous light came, and she brought her daughter, my mother, out of it. Out of it. That I said, who escapes the voids? I mean, or you go inside of the realm, or you stay there forever. Well, it means that Leviathan let her go. Let her go, let her go away. That she was actually allowed to go away. And that is what I learned, allowing to go away from the void. Or you go inside of a gate, or you stay there, but allowing to go back. This ritual of saying goodbye to my mom was much more than I ever could expect. This is not the first ritual that I discovered where how powerful a dragon god can be, or how powerful dragon in general can be, how powerful their energy can be, how powerful yeah, how emotions work with the dragon. You cannot lie to the dragon. And when I was doing this ritual, I was talking to the dragons, and I was actually really 100% sincere. And that is what you have to do on the dragon's path. Be sincere when you talk to the dragon, and be respectful to the dragon gods. They don't demand worship, they don't demand it. But there is one thing that I couldn't stand anymore after it: those people who don't see the dragon's path as something serious. This is a very serious path, and I always, from the start, always took it serious, always. So of course, after 17 years in intense dragon's path, of course, there are things that I discovered, and how powerful dragon god can be. But all what the dragon gods are doing is to protect you, to be there for you. If you don't have a mother, then Tiamat will replace her. That is actually what a bit happened. Tiamat replaced my mother. Even to this day, my mother is still not 100% because of that, because of what happened. Of course, but she came back to me. She came and said, sorry, 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 all the time. After she saw Leviathan, after she saw what is actually behind me, what is behind you, what is behind all of us. Don't see the dragon's path as just a plaything, but see it as something from your desire, from your heart, from actually what the dragon gods are. Some like our parents, like the connection between the dragon gods and you, as of course, is always going to be different. But the dragon gods allowed the dragons to be with you, to be with by your side. The dragon Leviathan eventually, they let the dragon be by your side, not for nothing. That is something that Leviathan decides to let them go to you, and that is an honor in itself. To me, the dragon gods are no gods to be worshipped. They are like the parents.